Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to this lovely, wonderful thing we do called CHGO Wrestling. Thanks for joining us. I am Big Dave of CHGO Bulls. That is the special advocate, Greg Boysen. And on the 1 and 2s back there is our guy, DJ Sean Anderson. We are going to talk wrestling today. And damn it, I'm excited because we're in Studio 8 doing it today, Greg.
We took it over. NWO style.
Yes. Cage match?
We didn't even need that because
sneak attack.
Everybody was so scared of us taking over that we didn't even show up today.
That's true.
Now I need the black and white filter. Now that we're taking over NWO style, I need to flash the.
We told
little grainy. New world
pamphlets falling from the ceiling.
Maybe Sting comes down, say it off the balcony or something, say what's up to us. All that can happen. Who knows? But we got a lot to get into, man. It's a lot going on. It is WrestleMania season. It is happening. We are definitely going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the tournament, round 2 of the tournament that will be going on. We will break that down. But before we start, we have to make the big announcement that we have been wanting to make for a while. And it is official, like a referee's whistle. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. We are going. Myself, Greg Boysen, CHGO Wrestling. April 19th and the 20th, the 2-day spectacle that is WrestleMania. We will be there to watch it, enjoy it, and cover it. We will also be doing shows from the Circa Resort, from the Stadium Swim. If you guys want to be a part of Circa and what they're doing, we'll attach the link in the YouTube. You guys go ahead, click that link, and come on to Circa and join us and hang out because it is going to be a lot going on. Greg, how excited are you?
I mean, you can't tell, but I'm pretty excited. I've never been to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think ever since we did the first watch along 2 years ago, you were like, Greg, I'm going to get you to WrestleMania. And I've never not believed you. And now here we are. We're going.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of pay-per-views over the years. I've been to Survivor Series, WCW back in the day. Been to every AEW pay-per-view, Chicago, never WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Being in Vegas, it's going to be a heck of a weekend.
Yeah.
Staying at Circa, shout out to those guys for taking care of us.
Yes.
Going to be a ton of fun. Can't wait to do it. Can't wait to be at Mania. You came to me in December, and was like, hey, I want to do this thing, but I'm not doing it without you.
Yeah.
I was kind of in a weird place at that time.
Yeah.
Things have happened recently. I was like, man, I don't know. But I was like, okay, listen, if Big Dave says I need you, you answer the call.
Yeah, bro.
Because I knew it was going to pay off. And it's paying off. I'm super excited. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Like, I know this has been in the works for a while.
Yes.
We knew we were going to Vegas for a while.
Yeah, we knew we were going.
We weren't sure about getting into the actual event, but the wrestling gods have smiled upon us.
Yeah.
And we'll be there. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Well, I'll say you weren't sure. I knew.
Well,
I was
knew.
like, there was no way. I was like, we're going. And I constantly would just tell it to him anytime.
I know. I'm a guy
you
though.
Waver. Like, hey,
I'm a guy that until I see it,
it's concrete.
I believed you. I
never said you doubted.
I never wavered for a moment. I knew it, but now that it's official.
It's official, bro. Yeah, I told him when we weren't on camera how official it was, and he was just the look of like, oh, like, oh, we're going. Yeah, we're going.
It's
it's happening, bro.
2 weeks can't get here fast enough.
I can't tell you how excited I am for you to see this. More than anything, this honestly will be my 3rd WrestleMania that I've been to. I went to 2 previously, the Roman Reigns when he beat The Undertaker, and then the very next year in New Orleans, the return of Daniel Bryan, which was super crazy, and also Charlotte Flair beating Asuka in the ring. That was both of those were amazing manias. So I knew what to expect.
It's your first 2-day mania.
Yes, but this is my first 2-day mania. And
gotta learn how to spread out the energy.
Yo, man, because I learned the hard way. You know what I'm saying? My first one, I learned the very, very hard way because I had no voice and I couldn't talk at all. And for some reason, I didn't learn my lesson on the second one. And I, again, had no voice and couldn't really talk at all because I was just screaming my head off and going crazy. But thankfully, they've now broken it up into 2 days. So I don't do 7 hours of straight yelling. You know what I mean?
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
There it is. There it is.
Marathon, not a sprint.
You know, I've gotten older and wiser. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned that's what it is. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but it just excites me more than anything to be with you on this one, knowing that this is your very first one, knowing the fan you are of wrestling. I honestly probably know one person who is like more knowledgeable about wrestling, and he's one I've definitely went with and hung out with at Mania. But knowing that you had never been, just the knowledge and love that you have for this, I was like, nah, this will not stand. This will not stand. We're taking care of this. We're gonna get there. I want to say thank you to Jake for definitely having our backs on this. Thanks to the whole CHGO sales team who definitely came through for us and got us together. Shout out to my guy Aaron out there at Circa as well. Everybody just came through and just really looked out and really supported us for something that a lot of them really didn't understand outside of Aaron, but a lot of them just really didn't understand, but they saw the passion of it, bro, what we wanted to do.
Yeah, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna do what we do. We're gonna do some shows.
Yeah, baby.
Who knows? Maybe some surprises. We're gonna keep it open. Who knows who we're gonna run into while we're out there.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see some of you guys out there. Big Dave and I walk into a room, people notice. So we'll stand out. So hopefully if you see us, if you're going out there, say hey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a blast going to the event, but man, we got a lot of hard work to do while we're out there too, and that's part of it. And I love that as well. And my only fear about this whole experience is that it's going to turn into a very expensive yearly thing for me. So we got to keep this. We got to keep building this show so people just keep paying for us to go out there and do this.
That would be fun. And then next time we could bring Sean or somebody with us, man, to do this. So that would be absolutely cool. Sean, have you been to a Mania before, bro?
I was blessed to go to WrestleMania 23, saw the legend Aretha Franklin, of all people, sing the national anthem. And, of course, the match of the night is billionaire versus billionaire.
Yep, it was.
The hair match.
The hair match.
Oh, God, was I lucky to be in the building there.
Yeah, bro.
I think I was probably more lucky to see, I don't know, Cena take on Michaels or Taker take on Batista. Those were probably better.
Sure, it was probably. But dude, he saw Aretha Franklin. That was the best one. Her singing, she absolutely destroyed that. I definitely remember. It made me say, "Oh, I love those moments," because it's like, "Oh, snap! Wrestling might be a little real." Because the way when you get Aretha on that singing like that, you're like,
that was the second time.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think the whole thing was that she did it at WrestleMania 3.
Right.
Yes,
So right,
right.
it was 20
and it
years
was
later.
23. That was Detroit too, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
First time she did in front of 70,000, bro. Then doing it again. So yes, but we're excited. I am beyond excited. I know this man is beyond excited, but we're going and we'll be there. So if you're going, make sure you hit us up on social media. Let us know you'll be there, man. We'll tell you where we're at. Come hang out with us, man. We will be around. Like Greg said, we'll definitely be talking to anybody, any and everybody. We will be filming. We will be talking. And man, everything will be going up on our socials. And yeah, shout out to the whole CHGO crew that will be behind the scenes helping us out with everything along the way, man. We appreciate all the love and support for this thing we're doing right here called CHGO Wrestling, man. So thank y'all. Thank y'all. Can't wait. All right, man. Let's get to round 2. I want to get to the tournament, man.
Okay.
I think we got to get to this.
We don't want to talk about the Cena-Cody segment?
Oh, we do got to get into Cena and Cody.
We got 5 minutes before our first break.
Okay.
So we talk Cena-Cody, and then we'll get into the tournament.
And we have half the amount of matches to go through this week we did last week, so it won't be as long.
So, yep, but you're 100% correct. So finally, John Cena, Cody Rhodes.
Some physicality.
Some fisticuffs occurred. They finally got in the ring. We talked about it previously. And if you all didn't see the short that we put out, Greg was articulating it properly to basically everybody let them cook, let them get to the point. They're gonna get together and put each other on the mic, and I don't think they were hiding. They were just telling the story. So the altercation occurred. Greg, how did you feel it went down?
It was really well done because both guys started to get their airing of the grievances out.
Yo.
And a lot of, again, what makes these things so good is there's a lot of half truths to what's being said by both guys. They both had some pretty good lines. You know, Cena kind of let him have it. You know, you got your gimmick tattooed on your neck. The best line he had was, "I built empires for billionaires and you steal money from their children." I was like, damn, that's good stuff. But the whole, you know, well, at least I've never had anybody chant, "You can't wrestle" to me. Like, they were going for it. Like, they're both into it. And, you know, I'm a little disappointed in the, like, Cena still comes out to the music. He's got his shirts for every town he's in. He's got his towel. I mean, granted, he's doing the scowl and the I'm angry really well. Very well. But I'm still kind of like, I kind of want something a little different. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it was well done, and it got me, like, for the first time, really excited about this match. And I finally was able to pick a side on who I want to win this match after that promo.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm not going to ask you. Not going to ask you yet.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, you're going to find out at
That's
Vegas.
true. That's true. You know what? You're right. You're right. The man he's screaming for when he comes out.
I'm officially a John Cena guy after that
promo. There it is.
I want to see history.
I'm not surprised by this.
I want to see. Well, you know me. I love the heels.
This is true.
I'm a heel.
You're a heel guy.
But I just think, you know, I don't know if he's going to win, but the history of Mania, and, you know, and that's night one main event. Am I right on
night
that?
two? No,
it is night two. Okay.
Night one is Roman, Seth, and CM Punk.
Well, real quick, I don't know if you guys talked about this last week. Do you guys feel weird that both title matches will seemingly be on the Sunday rather than having one of the title matches be both of the main events, or even have a women's title match be one of the main events? I mean, you're having just a triple threat.
Right.
Yeah, I you know, they kind of did Jey Uso wrong here. You can't promote the winner of the Royal Rumble gets the main event at WrestleMania, and then he doesn't get the main event at WrestleMania. Like, it's main event Jey Uso, who will go on third to last now. Like, it's that's kind of, I don't know. I think that angle with him and Gunther's kind of lost a little steam. I mean, that's my opinion. That's why they have it lower on the card. But I know, you know, Gunther and Jey Uso will never be Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk.
No.
And Greg, to be fair, I mean, did it have steam? When were you pumped about Jey Uso and Gunther? Because I feel like, again, most people were like, Jey Uso won it, and you would think they would have kind of more of a solidified plan to make Jey look great, and he's just kind of looked annoying. Like, I want Gunther to destroy Jey Uso. I want all of those chants to be silenced.
I kind of do too, not going to lie to you. But like, I also think the pop, if Jey wins, would be huge.
Insane.
Like, I think people love the Jey Uso entrance, and they love the Jey Uso aura.
Yeah.
And they love Jey Uso's promos.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people love Jey Uso's matches. That's the problem. I think that's why it's got down a little bit, because if you're going to go just on pure in-ring skills, Gunther should win that match in like a minute and a half.
No, Gunther is
because he's one of the best pound-for-pound actual pro wrestlers out there today.
Agreed.
It's going to be interesting how they did. Like, did they originally want to put Jey Uso over, and then they've kind of seen how this going? They're like, maybe we'll wait. I don't know. Yeah, that match, I thought from day one was going to be Jey gets the belt. Now I'm not so sure.
I agree with you.
So that's going to be an intriguing one. But again, if the winner of the Royal Rumble is supposed to get a main event match,
give them their
make it a main event match. So neither winner of the women's Royal Rumbles are going to be in main events.
Yeah.
So just, I know it's just, you know, phrasing, but just, you can't say main event anymore. You just say you get a title shot at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't disagree with anything you said on that point.
Well, and two, like, how is this difficult to give them a main event match when you have two nights?
This is true.
Like, just logistically, it's easy to figure it out. One guy gets one night, and the
you would think night one would be that title, and night two would be the other.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, and now you might get Jey Uso versus Gunther for the world title in an opening match on one of the nights.
Yeah, it's true. I'll say I definitely agree with both you guys' assessment of how it's kind of felt a little like going down a little more downscaled. Because when it first was announced, like, I was super hyped because I was like, oh, Jey is about to get his opportunity.
It was a surprise win. Nobody saw that coming.
No, man, look, bro.
Everybody loved the ending, and now it's kind of like it might have peaked at that point.
Yeah.
And now it's heading back down the other side.
It seemed like they wanted to give John Cena the Royal Rumble win, without giving John Cena the Royal Rumble win in a way. And two, I feel like it's just going to be very similar to Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. And maybe that's what led to Daniel Bryan getting a similar cheer and reaction at WrestleMania 30. But I just don't think Jey Uso has that juice. Daniel Bryan's a top 10, maybe even Mount Rushmore Hall of Fame wrestler. Like, Jey Uso just isn't that type of wrestler. I would think that use the crowd reaction, get them all pumped up, start them hot, and then you know what's great? The opposite of a soaring reaction, take the complete energy out of the crowd. I mean that in a positive way. Just be like, oh, wow, Gunther's like terrifying.
Yeah, and I think you'll see that during the match. I think he's going to be destroying Jey Uso during the match. And to that point about Daniel Bryan, I think that's why he's getting the, secondary title, I guess you would say, in this, and not the, undisputed heavyweight championship title. He's getting the workhorse title. You know what I mean? And I think it's a perfect kind of wave to get Jey Uso over and to finish his kind of story. You know what I'm saying? Of leaving the bloodline and doing it like that. But you're right. Like how it's been and how it's gone so far, it's kind of, dwindled a little bit. I'm curious to see how they pick it back up. I think that's why he brought his brother back in. I thought that last one when Gunther was just destroying his brother in front of him was great stuff. Just leaving him an absolute bloody mess, and we'll add to that. So you're kind of building it how you did Sami Zayn the previous year when he beat Gunther for that Intercontinental title. So you kind of do it that same kind of way. But I think I cannot wait for Jey Uso's music to hit and just sit and watch those people lose their minds in the crowd. That many people all, get their hands up and going crazy. I love that kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to get out there and see that and actually feel that, and what that's like. So, yeah, I'm all about the pomp and circumstance. Like, I'm damn sure about the entertainment.
That's what Mania is all about.
Yeah, man. So I can't wait to see it. Do I want him to win? Sure. I would love for him to finish, but I agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised just at how it's been going if Gunther walks away with it. I don't think it's a bad decision if he walks away with it and you continue to have this guy who you always have to have wrestlers on your roster who wrestle. Right. It can't just always strictly be about the entertainment. You have to let these people know, like, no, there's an art form going on in that ring, and you have to have guys on a certain level to showcase that. So Gunther is definitely one of those guys.
So here's a thought that just popped in my head. Gunther destroys Uso. Roman Reigns wins the triple threat. Roman Reigns and Gunther sets up a thing as Roman's like, hey, man, I gotta, bloodlines got to stick together.
Yeah.
You've been taking out Jimmy and Jay. I'm going to stick up for them. And then you get a Roman Reigns Gunther match. I'm for that.
Do you feel like that's going to be the Roman direction, though? Because I feel like the whole point,
it would definitely
when you saw
be Cena or Cody.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just with the three there. Like, I think, especially with Paul Heyman being so connected to Roman Reigns, like, we have to see the Punk thing pay off. Like, I don't think we see the end of Saturday with Roman being raised. His hand being raised. Like, I think it's got to be Punk. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I feel like that's when his favor is going to be due, and Paul Heyman turns on Roman, which I don't understand why he would. Yeah, but Paul Heyman's bouncing around a lot.
Yeah, that would be. I'm very interested to see what happens in that match. I've said this before on the show. I love when wrestling gets you to those moments where you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. That's when wrestling is at its peak, because we've seen so much of it. We know the style, we know how it goes, we know the face, the heel, all of that stuff. We watch enough to know, but there's always that sweet spot where you have to let them do their job, and finish the story and carry you along. And that's where the 6-year-old comes out, you know what I'm saying, of you to just sit and enjoy that kind of thing. Right back to the Cody and John Cena, as far as, those two in the ring together and what they did on that mic, it was like a 7-game series happening in front of my face, because John Cena, took the first game, you know what I'm saying, and then I watched Cody tie it up. And then I watched Cena go up, and then I watched Cena go up 3-1, and then I watched Cody win the next 2. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know who won Game 7. I still am debating on who won that, which for me is perfect, because I don't want to feel like one guy got the best of the other guy. I want to be like, damn, because when I watch it back again, changing your mind, like, maybe him, because you heard Cena saying those things, and man, when Cody said to him, like, the people chose me, can you say the same? Or is it a dude that we don't talk about no more here that chose you? I was like, damn, they are really truly going at it, man. I don't crush talent. I am talent. Like all of that, dog. Like they really got real personal. And man, that's one of the sweet spots of wrestling.
Yeah, and that's why that worked so well because, again, there was some truth to what both guys said.
Yeah,
and it should be great now that the physicality has started. It's going to ramp up before we get to Mania.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know. Is Cena going to be on every week before Mania? Or is he
I don't think so.
I mean, they've been in Europe, so that's been an attraction there. Do we not see him again till the night, the Monday before?
Probably not. I think you'll get The Rock and not John Cena because, again, that hasn't been brought back in since it happened.
Right.
That angle. So I think there's something in that story that needs to kind of be told and wrapped up before you get to Mania.
2 more Raws and 2 more SmackDowns before Mania starts. So
correct. Starting tonight, SmackDown. It's Friday while we're recording this, guys. So starting this Friday, that's SmackDown, and then
next Friday they're in Chicago. Right?
They are. They are definitely in Chicago at the Allstate Arena, and they're going to be going crazy.
You might have to sneak into that one.
Oh, yeah, that one we might have to sneak into.
I know a guy that works the back door. We'll see.
That's what I'm talking about.
I saw something, I think it was WrestleMania 22, where the stage lifts up. Maybe we could sneak in under there.
If they still have it.
If they still have it.
I was actually just watching that one today. Yeah, the stage lift up so JBL's limousine could come in.
That's what we sneak in?
And then later the whole, history is then Cena comes in dressed up as weird Al Capone. And of course CM Punk's on the side of it.
CM Punk's on the Model T, yeah.
What, 10 years later he wins?
Yeah, good stuff.
I like this stuff, man. I like that's pretty good.
It's the Easter eggs.
Yes, that's what it's all about. But yeah, it's going to be some amazing, awesome matches at WrestleMania. The ones we discussed will definitely be huge, and I just honestly can't wait to see what happens, and I can't wait to watch the entrances. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to come out? What's it going to look like? Who I think will have the best one? And yeah, it's just going to be a fun experience.
We're going to be in the air when the final SmackDown the night before.
Yeah,
we'll be
flying back.
We'll be en route to Vegas. So,
yes.
That should be.
Hopefully we make it to the airport.
Once we're in Vegas, I don't care about coming back. Getting there. Once we're there.
Vegas has a hockey team.
Okay. They do.
I wonder if they're hiring.
All right, y'all. Let's get to this bracket, man. Let's get to round 2 of the bracket. The greatest moments in wrestling history. Round 1 was as awesome as I thought and wanted it to be. It was so much fun to do. Like Greg said, we could have talked for 2 hours about that whole thing, and a lot of upsets in it, which is always cool to see. Yep. And I'm expecting some more. So let's get going, man. We got the Roddy Piper region, the Dusty Rhodes region, the Owen Hart region, and the Eddie Guerrero region. We will start with Roddy Piper region, sir. All right, number 1 seed, Hulk Hogan turns heel versus the number 8 seed, CM Punk returns to AEW. Number 1, Hogan.
No, this is WWE.
Excuse me, WWE.
Because there's 2 CM Punk returns.
This is correct. So, Hogan turning heel. Oh, gosh. That was one of the biggest things ever of all time in wrestling. And, like, no one truly saw it coming. And when it happened, it was just incredibly shocking. Mm-hmm. And just the trash in the ring that was filling up. I can hear Mean Gene saying it in my head. Look at all the trash in this ring. And then Hogan saying, this represents the people that are out there, brother. Like, Hogan just telling you, everything was a lie. Still one of the best moments ever. And it's hard to get it over that CM Punk moment. Because, again, that's something I definitely remember where I was when it happened, and just how they did it was great. But, man, Hogan turning heel changed wrestling, bro.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Hogan turning heel is the number 1 overall seed of this tournament for a reason.
Yeah.
Because to think of where Hogan was at that point of his career, he's in WCW. Mm. People hated him there because they were done with the whole red and black, real American shtick. It didn't really work well in WCW. Like, when he first came in, he had matches with Ric Flair, and everybody wanted to see those because for some reason they never happened in WWF. Mm-hmm. And then once that got over, then it became the cartoony, I'm going to beat up everybody thing, and people were just sick of it. it resurrected his career and gave him another decade of being relevant.
Yeah, it did.
Hollywood Hogan was cool. Hulk Hogan was like what you liked as a kid.
Yeah.
Hollywood Hogan was like when you were a teenager in your 20s and you were like, he's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think too, like, just to give him his credit, or Hulk Hogan credit, not Terry Bollea.
Yes.
Yeah, no, terrible. Sucks.
character,
Horrible person.
Again,
go to hell.
There's a pretty big age gap between me and you two, and still Hulk Hogan's my favorite wrestler. And that's because of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, because of the black and white, because even when he was going to WWE, that felt fresh to that fan because they were seeing the red and yellow. The fact that he had those two completely different eras, I mean, that is one of the biggest, if not the biggest character ever.
That is awesome to see through younger eyes what that felt like. You know what I'm saying? Watching Hulk Hogan turn and be that way. Because we all, you and I, like he stated, you and I are older. So we grew up knowing that Hulk Hogan feel, but he didn't. So, but him still seeing it through those younger eyes and knowing what that is just says a whole lot about what it was, bro.
Yep.
So, I'm sorry, Mario and Jay agree with us. Sean took CM Punk's return to the WWE, and I'm not mad at him at all. But Hulk Hogan is going to move on in the number 1 seed and go to the Sweet 16.
I'm a sucker for the Allstate Arena. What can I say?
I'm not mad. There's no wrong answer on this.
Anytime Cult of Personality is playing at the Allstate Arena, I will vote for that.
I'm not mad at you, sir.
Should we rename the Sweet 16 to the 2 Sweet 16? There you go.
Yeah, I think it just happened. I think that's exactly what just happened. All right. Number 13 seed, Shawn Michaels puts Marty Jannetty through the barbershop window against the number 12 seed, Owen Hart versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 10.
2 upsets from the first round.
Yeah, 2 upsets, definitely. Go ahead, bro.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Because I love Bret Hart. I love Owen Hart.
You had a compelling argument about Owen and Bret.
That was WrestleMania 10. Owen was like still kind of like mid-card guy. Always will be Bret's younger brother at that point, but then gets his, they wonderfully did that whole setup. And then, holy crap, he actually beats Bret Hart. Like, oh my God. And it was an amazing match. Really put Owen Hart to the next level. And then Bret still wins the title that night anyway. But the Shawn Michaels barbershop window is one of my favorite moments ever. Yeah. Just because of the shockingness of it and the, just the violence that came out of Shawn Michaels in that. That took Shawn Michaels tag team specialist and started him on the career, on the path of being Shawn Michaels, one of the greatest to ever do it. Without that moment, I don't know if he has that career. Owen and Bret, great. Both guys, Bret was already established at that point, but that established Shawn as a big time player. So I'm voting for the barbershop window.
I agree with you 100%. As I said last time, that when he threw him through that window, when I still watch it today, I'm still concerned that that glass is going to fall on Marty Jannetty's back and cut him in half. Every time I see it, I think that's what's going to happen.
One
incredibly
of these times
shocking. It might happen, maybe so, but incredibly shocking moment. Absolutely awesome, and you're right. Just changed Shawn Michaels' whole entire career for sure. Put him on the map as that solo star. And in this one, we got a sweep. Everybody went with Shawn Michaels, putting Marty Jannetty through the window. So that will be moving on. Let's get to the number 6 seed, Y2J's WWE debut against the number 3 seed, Stone Cold versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13.
Man, speaking of the Allstate Arena, Sean, 2 moments that happened at the Allstate Arena.
Yeah, 2 huge moments.
This should have just been the Allstate Arena region.
Well, you know what?
Or I guess Rosemont Horizon / Allstate Arena.
Well, next year's tournament will be nothing but moments that happen at Rosemont, Illinois.
It's a pretty good bit.
It's pretty good.
I mean, we could fill out a 64 field bracket, no problem.
Punk winning in 2011 is my winner already.
I mean,
we might add something to the list from this one. That's happening Friday, so who knows? But in this one, I mean, Y2J's debut, like doing it, while The Rock is in the ring, who was, as I said, it was fish grease at that time. That dude was incredibly hot, and watching those two go back and forth, the pop of the crowd when they found out it was Y2J, like all of it just worked perfectly in that. I mean, Stone Cold and Bret Hart, man. I mean, the blood trickling down. I mean, his face.
Getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
It's the first match
It's
to be
true.
inducted because they're running out of ideas. But
Oh, my goodness.
it's the first match to get inducted into
Still a good idea, though. It's still a good idea.
Yes, it is a good idea.
It's a good idea.
They've run out of people, so now we have to get matches.
Like, hey, it's a good idea to keep Stone Cold name up at WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
And to bring Bret Hart back. You know he wants to talk about Bret Hart. Bret Hart likes talking about Bret Hart, and rightfully so.
I'm going to ask him about Goldberg.
Oh,
You think he'll have a comment on Bill Goldberg?
Maybe, let me see what he says about Hogan too.
His level of pettiness towards Bill Goldberg
It's another level.
belongs in the Hall of Fame itself.
Just don't hurt me, Bill. Don't hurt me.
And just imagine if you were Brett too. Like the fact that you've been watching this guy for 25 years after he ended your career and he's still thinking about coming back, returning to wrestling, Bill Goldberg is. It's
Nobody
like
wants that.
Nobody wants that. But also, if you're Brett, you're just like, man, I couldn't get one last match.
Yeah.
Like everyone else, Edge, Daniel Bryan, Goldberg, they all get the. Lesnar came back twice.
He did.
Like,
He did. Yeah,
I would
I
feel
hear
so
you.
bad if I'm
Ric
Brett.
Flair still wants to do matches.
Oh,
Yes.
my God. Please stop.
How is Flair still wrestling and Bret Hart hasn't seen the ring once?
Oh,
Well,
God.
because Flair's broke.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I still love you, Ric Flair. Favorite wrestler of all
I
time.
love him too, but
Oh.
man, you should have invested better.
So Stone Cold and Bret Hart or the Y2J debut. I'm gonna go with the Y2J debut.
Glad you said that. 'cause
I really enjoyed it.
so am I.
Okay.
Because that's one of my favorite. I was there. I loved Y2J. My buddy Carlos Sky Point. Back in the day, we watched all the WCW, and I loved Chris Jericho from those days, like the whole Dean Malenko list of 1,004 holds, like all that stuff. And I liked him even more because my buddy couldn't stand him, so that made me like cheer for him. So to be there with him, and it's Chris Jericho, and I'm going nuts, and he's like, "Oh, I hate this effing guy." It's Jericho for me.
Oh man. So Mario and Sean both took Stone Cold and Bret Hart, but Jay, Greg, and myself are taking Y2J. So that's what we'll be moving on.
Just to defend Stone Cold
Please.
and Bret Hart.
Please.
Because the one thing about Jericho, I think it's probably the most effective debut of a wrestler. Obviously, you need to have the past history with WCW to even make that effective for people to know who you are. But as a younger watcher, I did not see this in the moment. I was not at the Allstate Arena, Greg. I was more used to Y2J's 2007 return when I did not understand what was flashing on my screen during Monday Night Raw. And I was like, what is going on? And I wasn't reading like online forums when I was 10. And then Randy Orton's out there and the code finally breaks and it's Chris Jericho returning. Like that I feel is a more special moment for Jericho. Okay. Because I felt like that was just done a little bit better. Maybe I'm wrong because people probably knew outside of me because they were a little bit more on the internet. But the one thing with Stone Cold and Bret Hart, it's that classic. One guy comes in as a face, one guy comes in as a heel, and it flips because of Stone Cold's resiliency. You really only see two matches like this, I think, in wrestling history where it's this effective. Hogan and Rock in Toronto at 17 or 18, whatever. I know my number's off. And then this one with Hart and Stone Cold. And the fact that it just accelerated Stone Cold to the character that he was, I think this is the biggest moment. I don't think you have, all of Austin 316 and everything that goes with it if it's not for this moment.
100% agree with that point.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But I mean, unfortunately, in a tournament, someone's got to lose.
Yes. But excellent point. He's absolutely right on the money on that. Number 10 seed, Mick Foley enters the Royal Rumble 3 times, the 3 faces of Foley, against The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. I already am taking The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. That match was just, it's one of the match of all matches kind of thing. And this is no disrespect to the greatness of Mick Foley because, again, that had never been done before and it was done brilliantly and everybody was in with it, when it went down. But, yeah, when I think of just talking about wrestling, as I said earlier, you have to have wrestlers who wrestle like that. That's one of the matches you show to people who just want to know about wrestling.
Yeah, Taker, Shawn, that was the first of back-to-back years. The following year was the streak versus the career. I think that lost in the first round, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
But this was the superior match. Like when you talk about best matches in WrestleMania history, this one is in the conversation. It was everything you wanted in a WrestleMania match. And no kidding. You have two of the greatest WrestleMania performers ever in The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, two guys that knew what that stage meant. That, like, this is a career-defining match for both guys, even though they were well along in their careers, already established, so good. So, yeah, and as much as I love Mick Foley, thankfully he's okay. I don't know if you saw he got in a car accident a couple days ago, but he's Mick Foley. Okay. We're going to talk about him getting thrown off a Hell in a Cell here in a couple months. If he can survive that, he can survive anything.
Every time he entered, he came into a car accident.
Yeah, I'm used to it. That was his first real car accident he's ever been in, but he's literally been in 10,000 car accidents in his life.
That's very fair. I think we all. Oh, sorry, who you gonna go with?
It's Taker, Shawn Michaels. Yeah,
and that's a sweep. Everybody is gonna go with that. Mario, Sean, and Jay all pick that. All right, let's get to the next region, the Dusty Rhodes region, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, Greg's shirt, Greg.
There's a reason I got my shirt on.
I'm mad at you. Number 1 seed, the aforementioned Undertaker versus Mankind, Hell in a Cell, against the number 8 seed, the Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania 6. Like, I talked about just how big that match was at WrestleMania 6. Like, that was for real, like Iron Man versus Captain America. And just the build-up was perfect. The crowd was perfect. And Hogan even kicking out at a 3 count was perfect because he hated, you know what I'm saying, to let somebody go over. So he was like, I don't want to. Sorry.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
You're right. I don't know, brother. Come up with something else, brother. But Undertaker, he threw the man off the top of a cage, bro. It's a legacy match. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you break down wrestling as far as WWE is concerned into their top 25 matches, it's in there. You know what I mean? Without a doubt. And documentaries have been made about it. Undertaker's still on tour talking about it. Mick Foley is still talking about it. It's one of the greatest things that ever happened in wrestling. It was insane. It was absolutely a live car crash. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, I just want to bring up that Greg's currently watching WrestleMania 22, and if you're not at the part yet, you'll get to the Money in the Bank ladder match where Ric Flair participates, and as a 58-year-old, he's superplexed off the ladder, and then they fake him getting injured. He goes out to the back, and then he comes out, and everyone's like, "Oh, look how tough Ric Flair is." Like, no, Mankind did that, and they actually had to forcibly hold him back from him going out twice.
He got the thrown off the cage, then fell through the cage.
Tooth went through his nose or whatever it is. Like, just absolutely insane amount of dedication to his craft, and the fact that you could just show somebody that still image and they could tell you everything about that night in one picture.
It's true.
Because the one thing that's cool about Warrior and Hogan is just the fact that you could tell the story of Warrior having such a long 30-minute match with Hogan where the face paint is just completely gone and you see the true Warrior. That part's really cool. But outside of that, it is the best match for Hogan and Warrior. But when we're talking Shawn and Taker, Stone Cold and Bret Hart, it's not one of the greatest matches of all time.
You're both right. But I'm voting for Hogan Warrior because that was peak fandom for me. Yeah. And what did that? Was that 91, 92?
Yeah, right about
so
that.
I'm 12, 13 years old.
Okay.
Couldn't wait for that match. Two iconic, they've never done anything like that before. Two good guys going against each other, the world champ versus the IC champ. And then they put not only Warrior and Hogan, two guys not known for their in-ring work, have an incredible match.
That's a fact.
And then the torch is literally passed from Hogan to Warrior. Yes, Warrior in less than a year screwed it all up, but that's another story.
Sure.
For 12-year-old Greg, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Hell in a Cell is a great match. I didn't see it live. Not many people did. I had to I've heard about it. I was like, you got to see this match. And then you start, that was right around the infancy of the internet. So stuff would show up. But I didn't, if I'd watched that match live on pay-per-view when it happened, maybe I'd have a different story.
I understand that.
But you see it after the fact and you're kind of like, oh my God, that's amazing. But maybe if I saw it live, I'd be like, I really thought Mick Foley was dead. I thought I just watched a murder.
Yeah.
But that Hogan Warrior sticks with me to this day. So I feel awful voting against that Hell in a Cell match because you guys are right. It is an iconic, career-defining moment, but it's about me.
Who else is about?
It's about me and my childhood. That's why.
right.
That's why I'm voting,
and that's why we're here breaking it down.
Yeah. So I'm going Hogan Warrior, and I'm sure they're getting bounced.
Yeah, it's a gentleman's sweep. Greg takes the only vote for Hogan and Warrior. We all take Undertaker. But you're right. I think everything you said was great. Like, you're right. The number 4 seed. Now, here's a matchup. Number 4 seed, John Cena's heel turn against the number 5 seed, the very first WrestleMania. The thing that kicked it off, that started it all. You know what I'm saying? The granddaddy of them all. It was a colossal deal. Nobody had ever seen anything like that. I actually saw an interview of a man on the street who was a news reporter just talking to people outside of WrestleMania 1 and like, why are you here? You're like, why y'all? And they're just like, what do you mean? Like, dude, this is about to be one of the most incredible things ever. Have you seen the card? You can't book entertainment better than this. These are like grown and children, right? Like both saying these things. And the guy's trying to make fun of her. He was like, well, isn't the wrestling fake? He was like, you're out here covering it. What are you talking about? It's fake. Is that fake? You doing this? Like, these are kids saying this to him. So it was a huge deal. WrestleMania 1. John Cena's heel turn. I think I'm going to go with that, though. Ooh. I mean, it was John Cena turning heel. You never seen it. You've never seen it. A lot of people didn't see it coming. I'm great. A lot of people didn't see it happening like that.
Man, you're going to ride that one to the very end.
Oh, man. Yes. To the end. There is no end. What do you mean? There is no end. Is there an end to a championship reign? Never. But, dude, like John Cena turning heel was just magnificent. And it's still being written. So how it's not even over how it could end up. Right. And there's still some big nuggets and morsels that I think will feed us as it kind of goes along. And I think that's why I'm kind of choosing it, is watching him turn the heel and the unknown fact of it as well, because he could walk away with the 17. He could end up turning on the Rock again. Like, who knows what could happen with this, man?
Yeah, I think that's what makes this the most unique moment in this tournament, is because all other 63 moments, they're done. Yeah. This one is still evolving. We don't know what's going to come out of this. Yeah. I'm going to vote for the Cena heel turn too, just because of the shock value and all that stuff. And while WrestleMania 1 was very important,
colossally
important, and if it wasn't a success, the WWF was going to go out of business.
It's done. Yeah.
But when you go back and you actually watch WrestleMania 1 again, it sucks. It's boring. It's boring. I mean, but again, it's 1985, and it was important. The mainstream, effect, having Cyndi Lauper there,
huge,
and Mr. T.
Yep.
I mean, those are two in 1985. Those are two of the biggest names out there.
Seriously.
And they're getting involved in something that nobody knows about. Right. It's super important, WrestleMania 1. But as far as being a great wrestling moment, no, it's not there. So I'm going to go with Cena.
I agree too, mainly just because it's still a platform where it's tough to surprise people. And although WrestleMania 1 was a great base and platform, I think Greg's point that it sucked is probably what's most important, especially compared to the other, 41 that have followed, or 40 that have followed. Yeah. John Cena took people by surprise outside of Big Dave, and people talked about it. Yeah. And when you get people talking about wrestling, you've done your job. And people talked about John Cena turning heel for 3 to 4 days. And in this media cycle, that's really tough to even last a single day. Cena is continually a story. And like you guys said, it's still being written. What will this happen? What will happen come WrestleMania 41 once this is finally capped off, right? Like, I think it's easy Cena with a bullet. WrestleMania 1 is lucky to be in the next round.
And he's right as far as it being number 1 with the bullet, because it is a clean sweep. Everybody selected John Cena heel turn. So that will be moving on.
Take that, New York.
Number 11 seed, Dusty Rhodes Hard Times promo. Hard Times, baby! Against the number 14 seed, the first ever TLC match at WrestleMania 17. Sir, the floor is yours because you have on the amazing shirt.
And my Hard Times. Those are hard times.
Hard times, baby. What do you do?
It's the greatest promo of all time. And second place is so far away from that that it takes the light from the Hard Times promo 6 years to reach second place. That's how far ahead it is. You know why it's so good? Because Dusty Rhodes' passion is coming out. Half truth. Everything he said in that is not a half truth. It is a 100% truth. And the sad part about it is 40 plus years later, you can make that same promo and everything is still true that he says.
It's true.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing.
TLC, first TLC match, awesome.
Yeah.
Hold on, just real quick. I agree with you, but you'd say that Hard Times is, what, light years ahead?
He said light years.
Hard Times, an 11 seed. The pipe bomb from CM Punk, also an 11 seed. So the man who made the bracket thinks they're the exact same seed.
Yeah, but one has got a whole region named after it. There's no pipe bomb region.
Yes. There's like 7 Punk moments. Punk will have his own region.
Listen, we could next year we do all state arena moments. The following year, we could do a 64 field tournament on just Dusty Rhodes promos, and it would be awesome.
We could just do promos. Number 1 seeds already. 316, Pipe Bomb, Hard Times, Steiner Math.
Steiner Math.
I don't know. I don't know if Steiner Math is a number 1. It's a number 2 because you have to do. You have to do Cream of the Crop as a number 1 seed. Right? Cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Cup of coffee.
I don't know. It's some Ric Flair and Rock promos saying I'm going to argue on that one.
But we're getting off on a tangent.
But yes.
It's Hard Times.
Well, that is a gentleman's sweep.
See?
Because the first TLC match, Mario, Sean, Jay, and myself both think the TLC match should move on because, damn. Like, hey, you want to talk about a car crash?
You guys don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's fine. Just to go back to something that you brought up, though, I think it was WrestleMania 6, talking about how you need to stand up for young you. There was a DVD put out, I think in 2007, celebrating the history of the TLC. And I watched the ever-living hell out of that DVD. My entire summer that year was watching the entire history of the TLC. What Jeff, Matt, Edge, Christian, and the Devons did consistently in that match, in that environment, I don't think it will ever be beaten by like just wrestlers in a certain stipulation like that. They owned that TLC match, and they really just, kind of extended ECW's life in WWE in a way, like made it WWE friendly, I guess.
That's a great point.
Yeah, but I mean, when you look what's going on today, over the last 10 years, I mean, you don't have some of the stuff that AEW is doing without that match.
True.
You don't have that match without the Shawn Razor Ramon ladder match.
True.
Like, so
one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm not mad that I am mad. Screw that. Hard Times is the best, but I don't hate that it's the first TLC match. Yeah. Again, and I'm not surprised. It's we've got a generational thing going here where like Sean and Mario are on the younger side. They grew up with those moments. But I grew up with the Hard Times and Warrior Hogan. So and Jay and yourself.
I don't know. I grew up with that too, but that TLC match, bro, like that. Damn, that joke was crazy. And nothing against Dusty, bro. I mean, come on, man. It's the American dream by the Sapphire. Don't do it, baby.
Get funky like a monkey.
This one should be a quick one. The number 7 seed Stone Cold's beer truck against the number 2 seed, the Montreal Screwjob. Do we have to go into this? I really don't think we do.
Nope.
Yeah,
I'm writing down Montreal Screwjob.
Montreal Screwjob. It's a sweep. Let's move forward. That's my pick to win it all, personally. Let's go to the Owen Hart. Let's go to the Owen Hart region, ladies and gentlemen. The number 1 seed, Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3 versus the number 9 seed, Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. What was that? 16?
19.
Thank you.
At Safeco Field.
The first one under the WWE banner.
Yeah. Well done.
A little might have done a WrestleMania trivia night last night.
This is a pretty good matchup though for a 1-9, to be real with you, because that Angle Lesnar match,
it's great,
is amazing.
And you almost had a murder. You almost had
a death,
more of a suicide. But
yes,
you almost had a
people that big shouldn't be able to do the things we saw those guys doing in that ring.
Almost couldn't.
But just an incredible match. Like I told you, Kurt Kurt Angle might be my favorite wrestler ever. Like, we're just talking pure wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, he might be my favorite wrestler ever. You know what I'm saying?
We could do a 64 tournament on just Kurt Angle. And
Seriously.
it'd be great.
But, man, like Hogan versus Andre the Giant, if we're talking moments, that body slam on Andre the Giant, the moment of it was just perfect. And doing it at 70,000 people, you know what I'm saying, at the Silver Dome, like, it was, man, it's a moment that reigns kind of forever for me, like in my head, of him pressing Andre the Giant.
It's literally the forever in the now and now forever
that's true.
moment. It's still being shown in WWE promos.
Yeah.
That moment.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I guess the kind of difficulty I have here is moment, like the Hogan slamming Andre is a moment in itself. What is the moment from Brock and Angle? It's a botched shooting star press from Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
But if we're looking at the actual quality of this match, this is I think one of the better main events in WrestleMania history.
Sure.
I loved this Lesnar Angle match. You have two technicians. This is the best Brock's ever looked. This is one of the best Angles ever looked, and that's saying a ton. Like you said, you could have 64 moments with Angle. I have to give it to Lesnar Angle, because if you even look at WrestleMania 3, the actual match isn't even that decent, and it's completely outshined by Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man Savage
that's a
on the
classic.
early part of the card. So I would say the fact that Lesnar and Angle was such a high-quality match on such a high-quality card, I would give it to that one.
All right, Sean went with Lesnar and Angle. Mario J, you, Greg, and myself, we're going to go with Hogan slamming the Giant. So that will be moving on. The number 4 seed, Brock Lesnar, ends the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania 30 versus the number 5 seed, Ron Simmons, becomes the first black heavyweight champion. Look, I know who should win, but my blackness will not allow me to pick against Ron Simmons being the first ever black heavyweight champion. I still remember it. I remember reading about it, and I thought it was a misprint as a kid. I was like, get out of here. So even as a kid, you know what I'm saying? Not even a teen, even as a kid, understanding, you know what I'm saying, what that meant and just how important that was will always resonate with me. I didn't see the video of it till years later, you know what I'm saying? And then I saw it. I just would see pictures of him raising his hands in the air, and it just didn't look real to me. Like, I was like, damn, we do this too. like this is awesome as well. So yeah, but the Lesnar taking streak, I'm not mad at this, getting the dub. But yeah, like I said, I disqualify myself just on the sheer form of my awesome blackness.
I'm actually going to vote for Ron Simmons too, because I, to this day, hate that they ended the Undertaker streak. There was no need for it.
You said this last time.
There's no need for it. They could have let the man be undefeated all time at WrestleMania. Lesnar didn't need it. Undertaker didn't need to lose. The whole thing was stupid, and I still hate it. So no matter what tournament we ever do, whatever's facing it, I will vote against it.
I kind of agree with Greg. In a way, I voted for Taker Lesnar just because of that literal reaction from the crowd, that shocked face, the 21-1. Like, if we're looking at actual moments in the way of, like, you guys looked at Hogan, Andre, like, I think Lesnar ending Taker's streak wins it. But the fact that Simmons wins in 1992 and The Rock, it still takes him like 7 years, right, to be WWE's first black champion.
Correct.
And then I think even after that, it's Kofi.
Yeah.
If we're not including Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Like, WCW were absolutely pioneers.
Now you can't even
giving him that belt.
Now you can't even get the black wrestlers getting single matches on pay-per-view.
This is true, right?
But that's another topic for another show.
Almost been 1,000 days, but that's a topic for another show.
Let alone being a champion. You can't even get booked on the big shows.
Oh, man. So, I mean, in a close one, Mario, Sean, and Jay going to go with Brock Lesnar, myself.
Can I switch?
You want to switch?
I think Greg sold me. I'll switch.
Ron Simmons moving on?
Yeah. And honestly,
Ron Simmons moving on. Let's go.
Honestly, there's the fact, too, that I know Ron Simmons because of him wearing that stupid damn shirt. Like, that's brutal. I mean, he obviously had a great APA career in WWF, and him and Bradshaw were monsters together. But I don't really think I knew enough about Ron Simmons in WCW. And also, like, can we have HD footage of that? Like, it's tough to watch 1992 crowd
Simmons
footage.
Was a badass All-American defensive end at
a monster.
Florida State.
Monster.
And he's in the way, like, the
do
what's it
yourself
called?
a favor. If you don't unaware it, or any of our younger viewers, look up some of the matches he had in a tag team called Doom.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Him and Butch Reed.
Yeah.
Two just bad
violent
dudes.
Yeah.
Scary looking.
And they came out with masks on at first. They eventually unmasked because everybody knew that was Butch Reed and Ron Simmons. But they came out with Woman, and they had some ridiculously violent matches against the Steiner brothers in the late 80s, early 90s. So good. Look up some of them Doom matches. They're hard to find, but they're
also
out there.
the Nation of Domination as well.
Yep.
And he's
awesome
like
too.
the prototype of what you look in a wrestler now. Like, I mean, Roman Reigns, it's the football background. It's the athleticism that they're looking for. I mean, Ron Simmons is like
chiseled out of stone.
Ron Simmons
the
is
first
a
of his kind.
man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and also don't want to forget
Not Steven Regal, but Ron Simmons.
don't want to forget Booker T either. We were listening to Champions.
That's right.
That
Yes,
got it.
Booker T.
Don't want to forget Booker T either. Oh man, all right. Ron Simmons, that is an upset. It's
even
a
then
5 beating of 4.
with Booker, not even to take away from him, it wasn't even WWE's championship.
No,
that's the thing. It's just big gold belt, which is still a heavyweight
That's still
championship.
a colossal thing.
But yeah, I mean, it's just more just on WWE. Like, two people
Yeah,
have
but they put it
the
on
actual
Booker T on the very last episode of Nitro, though.
They did 5 times. At least 5 times.
5 times.
Yeah, but then
He got
he won it as King Booker too.
He did win as King Booker. That's it. 5 times, baby. Shout out to him. All right, Ron Simmons is moving on. The number 6 seed, Sting, appears as the Crow against the number 14 seed, CM Punk AEW debut. I am picking this because, dude, the way AEW did, I thought was perfect. Honestly, you understood what was going to happen. You knew he was coming, and they didn't make you wait. No. They gave it to you immediately, and you're watching a grown man cry, who's still a meme to this day, crying, watching this dude come out. Just what that felt like. I can't imagine what that felt like to see him Punk, but I know what it felt like to me. And just the roar. You hadn't, listen, I do the Bulls, he does the Blackhawks. We ain't heard a roar like that in that United Center in quite a while. It was outrageous how over he was coming out to that, man. And it delivered. And it was just a huge moment for me.
I was there for the CM Punk return at the United Center. I was also in the United Center the night the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup in 2015. Mm-hmm. And when Duncan Keith scored the goal to put him up 2-0 that pretty much clinched it, the CM Punk, the hit of that music was louder than Duncan Keith scoring a Stanley Cup winning goal. Crazy.
That's crazy to say.
It was an awesome moment. I'll never forget. He came out and when we walked into the building, I went with my buddy Justin. We could walk by the T-shirt vendors, and they had all these boxes that were unboxed. Mm-hmm. And we were like, "Those are the CM Punk shirts, right?" They're like, "I don't know, man. I don't know." And I'll never forget that he comes out, and then they go to a commercial break to kind of let him sink it in. And my buddy Justin just goes running out and comes back like a minute later, and he's got 2 of the shirts.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because he was like, "He's here. They're gonna unbox him."
That's pretty cool.
It was a great moment, and I love Sting. Sting is one of my all-time favorites. And the Crow was such a cool, and the way they pulled that off. The first appearance was cool, but I think that's more of a whole year's worth of storytelling. As far as like just an actual moment, yeah, I'm going to give it to Punk. It breaks my heart to vote against Sting.
Okay,
but I'm going to give it to CM Punk. Just because never thought we were going to see him back in wrestling.
Do you have my vote, Dave?
I do.
What is it?
Your vote is for Sting.
Okay. I think I'll stick with that just mainly because as a youngster looking at early Sting, I did not think Sting was cool until Black and White Sting. Yeah. I didn't think that he was a badass until that character.
That is a great point.
The fact that you could look back at Surfer Sting and you could look at America Sting and all the stuff that is, I mean, that stuff's cool, but it's corny.
Yes.
Sting is the coolest MFer ever, maybe outside of Taker. I'm for Sting just because that character made him a legend, and I don't think that I build a fondness for him if he's coming out looking like a San Diego roller coaster.
Hey man, that you almost swayed me right there, brother. That is an incredible. This was 100% correct.
This was one of the toughest actual one-on-one matches because Sting was my guy for forever. I mean, I was, again, preteen teenager during Surfer Sting, and you say corny. You weren't alive in the 80s, man. That was the 80s, man. That was awesome.
But he's right. It was corny.
Sting was...
It was awesome, but corny.
Sting was WCW's Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, no doubt about it. The Stinger splash, all that stuff.
Like, and he's going up against Flair. Like, Flair, his whole pomp and circumstances and his bravado, like, Stinger seemed like his brother. Like, in a way, like it was like his annoying, like, teen brother that they were pushing like for commercials. Actual Crow Sting brought emotion and character, and then the fact that he was just a badass in the ring made it 100 times better. And it's tough for me to pick against Punk because I am such a Punk guy.
Sure.
But also, which time are we talking about CM Punk getting a loud reaction at Allstate Arena? Like, of course.
This was the United Center, so it's
United
different.
Center. But still, I mean,
bigger building, bigger pomp.
I'm thrilled for anything with Punk, but I can write him off on this one.
I like your point. We went with CM Punk's debut, but Mario, Sean, and Jay all go with Sting. So Sting will be moving on to the next round.
I'm not mad at it.
At all. The number 7 seed, Seth Rollins, turns on the Shield against the number 2 seed, Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels in the ladder match, WrestleMania 10. This is another one where I have to tell Greg how much I hate him. Because... Damn. Again, this is probably for me.
You got a whole weekend in Vegas.
Oh, God. You're going to get a ton of it. I can't stand you.
You think you hate me now? Wait till that flight home. You're going to be like, I'm never talking to this guy again.
Oh, no. You won't be where I'm sitting, sir. I told you, I travel different. I travel so different. But, man, listen. Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels, for me, Sean, is a top 3 all-time match. Like, that's what I remember watching it as a kid and knowing as a child when I saw it that I was looking at something great. And even as a kid, I could feel that just watching that. Like, and I still feel it now just sitting here talking about it. Like, dude, I don't know what I just saw, but I know that was great. That was absolutely magical. And so to hear how people still talk about it and revere it just lets me know that what I was looking at was exactly right. That heel turn for Seth Rollins, I mean, my God, dog. Like, you want to talk about the chair shot that just started careers? Mm-hmm. It was that one. Yep. Everybody, all 3 of them touched the WWE title. You know what I'm saying? They had a night where all of them, touched the WWE title in one night. So that is still playing now to this day with Roman and Seth. It still plays out. Even when Seth and Roman had their solo match, he came out dressed as a Shield, and just Roman's face when it happened was amazing.
He did it at WrestleMania 40 too.
He did. He sure did. Came out again as that, and again Roman's face. He did. I just sold it perfectly. This is hard. Honestly, this is hard. Oh man, do I go? I hate you.
Do it.
I'm gonna go.
Come on. You know you wanna.
Why don't you give Greg and Mario and my pick first? So then that way you can maybe decide.
Greg, go ahead. Get yours in, bro.
Or give Jay. I mean, not Greg, because Greg's here.
Yeah, you can. Well, it's not going to sway my pick, regardless of what the other 3 voted. I'm going with Razor and Shawn.
Okay.
Everything you said about the Shield turn was spot on, but Shawn doesn't get his favorite DVD of all time without this match. You don't get the history of the TLC without this match. You don't have a Money in the Bank ladder match that has its own pay-per-view now without this match.
Just to say this, since you voted that, and I know where he voted, this is tied. So I am the deciding vote on this.
I got to be honest, since I'm here in person, I gave you my pre-answers, but now I'm listening to the conversation, so I could change it.
Yes, you can.
I have to say my favorite DVD, the TLC one that I was talking about, my favorite VHS was played at Brother Ice Summer Camp.
Brother Ice.
Every single lunchtime. It was the same DVD every single time, but they picked up every single time on a different match, and it was WrestleMania 10. So I got to watch Brett and Owen, Luger versus Yoko, Brett versus Yoko, and this ladder match. And the fact that this is the first ladder match in WrestleMania history is incredible. And the one thing, too, about this match is it really shows how much of a tactician Scott Hall could be. Yeah. I really wasn't a big Scott, like I watched a ton of Scott Hall wrestling. I feel like obviously because he goes over to WCW and he's more of just like a crony in a way. Like he's a part of the NWO.
Right.
I don't think he holds a belt at any point in WCW. And then the one time he comes back to WWF, whatever, he goes up against Stone Cold, has that infamous sell, but I don't think he was ever healthy enough to give enough to his wrestling career. This was the moment that you were like, wow, Scott Hall can effing work. And obviously Sean can work by himself.
Yeah.
So it is like, I would honestly rather just get rid of Punk's return to AEW or Sting's return and just give one of these guys a spot. I think I ended up going with Seth just because that is a story that I don't think is finished. Dean can come back. And I know, now he's John Moxley or whatever, but like there's going to be one point where like Roman's wrestling, the Shield music plays and like Seth walks out from like the actual entrance and then Dean comes out from the other side.
Dude, that's
there's
amazing,
no way that they cannot have the three of them fight each other.
No, I agree.
And you look at Sean and Marty, like the original heel turn, the fact that I think that's probably the second best heel turn of all time. Like they just did that so well. The fact that you mentioned the actual three of those members, like it just propelled all of them up outside of where Sean was propelled and Marty just completely fell off.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels.
Boy.
It just meant too much to me. It still does mean a lot to me. But that Shield, I mean, dude, like I love those moments where it just they reward you for watching wrestling, and that's what the Shield turn was. Like, thank you for watching for this long. We know you wanted to turn this off sometimes. Thank you. Here's your reward. Like, this was amazing. And the way they have just wrote it out, you know what I mean? Just all three of those guys, all future Hall of Famers. They've just been great. They've just been great. But I got to go with that. Sean makes a great point about Razor being a tactician in the ring. Like, a lot of people didn't know it. He's right. And seeing it there with Shawn Michaels was just gold.
And again, when we have our all Kurt Angle tournament, we can have Kurt Angle joins the Shield for one night only.
That happened. That happened. He sure walked out with it. I remember
He couldn't stop smiling. He was so happy. He looked so stupid.
And with the actual vest too, his neck looked like 100 times bigger than it actually.
So good. I love Kurt Angle.
I'm in the Shield, guys.
I love Kurt Angle.
Sure, Kurt is the best. Let's go to our final region, the Eddie Guerrero region. All right, we got the number 1 seed, the Austin 316 promo against the number 9 seed, The Rock and Mick Foley's This Is Your Life, Rock. Number 1 rated segment in Raw history still. Went for
crazy.
like 30-something minutes when it should have been 9.
4 matches got canceled.
Yeah, exactly. And it was
just like 2 matches got scrapped from WrestleMania 10 because the Razor Shawn match went too long.
Yep. But again,
worth it.
All worth it.
Yeah.
Like both things were worth it. This was worth it and amazing. Austin promo, I mean, it just kicked off everything for Stone Cold. You know what I mean? Austin 316s, and I just whipped your ass. And then just the background of it, knowing how Jake Robinson turned his life around, gave his life to God, and then Stone Cold using that again. You thump your Bible, you know what I mean? You read your Psalms and your Proverbs, and then your John 3:16, you know, and the way he said it, Austin 316 says, it was perfect. It really was perfect. I never liked betting going against The Rock, but that was perfect. The 316 was perfect.
That was spur of the moment. That wasn't scripted.
Correct.
That wasn't written form. That just came out.
Yeah.
And the fact that you could still buy an Austin 316 shirt on WWE Shop Zone.
Yeah.
You still see them at every wrestling event you ever go to.
Yeah.
There'll be at least one.
We'll see.
I told my girlfriend Stacy, she didn't get into wrestling until she started dating me. I tell her every wrestling show we go to, whether it's WWE, AEW, or some indie show in a bar somewhere, you're going to see one NWO shirt and one Austin 316 shirt, and you still do.
And you still do.
And the one thing with Austin 316, like you mentioned, it's off the cuff and his delivery. Like, that's just what made Stone Cold, his believability. That's what he would say if you were talking to him off air as well. He just seemed like a badass and a complete, like, I don't want to say hick, because that's wrong, but just like, you know, he just
say you're wrong.
Genuine.
Yeah, he embraced that redneck, ass-kicking, beer-drinking vibe. Absolutely genuine. What was the other moment we were talking about now? I just started thinking about Austin.
This is your life.
This is your life.
Yeah,
fun moment, but
fun moment.
Austin 316 changed the industry.
You were talking about the shirts. You know what they just released too? A shirt with Austin's bloody face. So, you know, just going back to that one should have won. Damn it.
Well, this one definitely wins in a sweep. Mario, Sean, and Jay all agree. We agree here as well.
All 4 number 1 seeds advanced to the
all
2
4
Sweet
number
16.
1s. Oh, it's just like the real tournament right now.
Well, and 2, just comparing their promo versus promo. Austin does this in a minute. Rock and Mankind do this for 30. Like, I mean, the succinctness
so
of Austin. All Austin needs to say is Austin 316 said, "I just kick your ass," and that's his entire character in one moment.
It's true. All right, the number 4 seed, Cody Rhodes, finishes the story against the number 5 seed, The Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 17. I am going Rock Hogan on this. For this is what moments are about. That was an absolute moment when they stood in that ring and just looked at each other in the crowd going back and forth about Hogan, and then them just saying, nope, Hogan's the one. We're going over with him. And then Hogan giving the crowd what they want. Hawking up and doing all that stuff. The Rock, who is honestly an underrated seller. It's not talked about how good he is at selling. He's an underrated seller. He made Hulk Hogan look like a monster. And he did a just spectacular job with it. And just the buildup of all of that. Because all I see is The Rock saying, well, how about going one-on-one with The Rock? And getting in his face and all that kind of stuff. But it was great. It was perfect. I'm going to pick that, even though Cody Rhodes finishing the story was peak for me. That was cinema for me. I truly did enjoy that, just bringing out all those guys and how they finished it off. But no, I'm going Rock Hogan.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Rock Hogan, that match was something that you don't see very often.
Yeah.
You don't see the biggest names from one generation take on the other, but then you also don't see how organically that match changed. Mm-hmm. They went in there with Hogan as the heel and Rock as the babyface, so within 6 minutes of that match, the crowd had completely changed to the point where the next night in Raw was in Montreal, and Hogan had to call his son and be like, "Grab my red and yellow, brother. Get it here to Montreal. I'm coming out in red and yellow." Yeah. Like, they changed the whole trajectory of everything because people wanted Hogan again.
Yes,
and it was a really good match. Yeah, Cody Rhodes finishing the story was great, but we kind of all knew it was going to happen.
Sure,
especially after he lost at 40 or at 39.
Correct.
But the Hogan Rock, man, it's such a great match.
Yeah.
And I don't think you needed to see all of the people you did in WrestleMania 40. I'm still a little against the smorgasbord because I feel like it takes away from Cody. Like, Cody need to be bailed out 4 separate times by John Cena and The Undertaker. Like, let him win a damn match
because the bloodline had everybody. So they brought in, like, who did he have? Like, somebody had to come help him.
But, like, I guess it would have made more sense if it was, like, Randy Orton. Like, somebody that was a part of, like Undertaker and Cena is just because of the pop. Well, but it feels a little bit forced where, again, everything about Hogan and Rock is natural. Yeah. It's Hulk Hogan versus The Rock.
The people told that story.
And you brought up, it's tough to get top headliners of generations against each other at WrestleMania. They did it at WrestleMania 28 and it sucked. Rock and Cena did not have the same effect as Rock and Hogan. Right. They tried to do it 10 years later, and it didn't have the same effect. The fact that they were able to deliver with this moment and the fact that they were able to change the original plan, that's what wrestling's all about, just going off of the crowd. It's a beautiful wrestling moment.
And that's a sweep also, ladies and gentlemen. Mario and Jay all agree. So it is a sweep. The Rock versus Hogan will be moving on. Number 11 seed, CM Punk's pipe bomb promo against the number 3 seed. John Cena returns to win the 2008 Royal Rumble. I mean, the pipe bomb for me, like, that made the rounds around the news. You know what I'm saying? They were like, because is this real? Like, when those lines get blurred, it's really a fun moment in wrestling when lines get blurred and people just don't know. And for me, I love it so much because the people who don't watch wrestling, who automatically will say, well, is it fake? They see something like that. And they're like, wait a minute. Wait, what? Wait, but it was fake. I didn't know. What? And they're confused about it, but you tuned in and they got you. You know what I'm saying with that? So, and then Punk was perfect. What he did, sitting down, you know what I'm saying? And then just dropping the bomb, the ice cream bars, you know what I mean? All of that stuff, bro. It was great. It was perfect.
We all got free ice cream bars at the United Center when he returned to A&W.
Oh, shout out.
That was part of the throwback.
That's awesome,
He said something like, I realize I still owe you ice cream bars, so on your way out, make sure you get when they had people at the exits passing out ice cream bars. All that being said, Cena's return, it was perfect. Punk, pipe bomb, it's there. It's one of the best promos of all time.
Yeah.
And again, as you said, anytime you can kind of like, ooh, is this real or not?
Yeah.
Are great moments. But the Cena return, Madison Square Garden, Royal Rumble, in an era where it's hard to surprise people, you were able to surprise people. Mm-hmm. And that reaction, I got to give it to Cena.
I'm not mad at that, bro. It was a great moment.
I saw Sean shake his head when
it's a great moment. Sean?
Greg Boysen, while you sit there, hopefully as uncomfortable as you possibly can be, I want you to listen to me. The fact that this caps off too and kind of drags out the unknownness or blurring the lines of if wrestling is real, it's the moment that caps it off.
Yeah.
The All-State Arena moment. The fact that we're talking about the pop that he gets as the heel in Chicago. The fact that John Cena has to face this hometown crowd. And when he wins, you're unsure, because of all the stuff that he just said, if he's actually going to return to the WWE. Obviously, most people with a brain don't think that Vince McMahon's going to let CM Punk walk out the door with the WWE belt. But there was like some moments there where you're like, I don't know. Like, and the fact that they tried to do like the whole screw job thing, like I just think that this was such a moment that had people tuning into wrestling even if they weren't. You turn into the pipe bomb, you understand the entire rivalry, Punk's side, and then you just have to wait 3 more weeks until it finally caps off. And they capped it off beautifully. That's one of Cena's best matches. That's one of Punk's best matches. That's exactly what wrestling's about, and I love that promo so much.
Yeah. It's a gentleman sweep on this one, with Greg going with John Cena, Mario, Sean, Jay, and myself taking CM Punk, the pipe bomb promo.
Take that, Greg.
Final one.
I will take that.
The last one, ladies and gentlemen. Number 7 seed, Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart in the Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12, going against Scott Hall interrupts Nitro. You know who I am. You don't know why I'm here. Boom. It changed everything. Everything that came after that was gold. All of it. Kevin Nash showing up then next. Then they have a few matches. Cool. And then the WCW's got a band together. Then they got to take them out. Boom. I forget the young lady's name. Was his son who came in with the belt, dropping it in the trash?
That was Medusa.
Medusa, thank you. Dropping the belt in the trash. Boom. Hogan becoming part of NWO. Kabloom. Like, this set everything off. This. Just seeing him walk in all black, and everybody knows exactly. He still got the little curl coming down his face. He wasn't changing who he was. None of that stuff. You knew who this person was. You knew it was Razor Ramon. He couldn't say his name. None of that stuff. And then him dropping that line. I mean, for me, it's that. It's that.
I agree. It was such a cool moment because, again, you were like, is this real? Is WWF starting to like invade WCW?
Right.
And like that got people watching Nitro. That started the era of Nitro where I have to watch because I don't know who's going to show up next or who's going to turn next. That started it. It's such a cool moment. And I've always loved Scott Hall / Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
No disrespect. To the other half of the bracket there, but
no disrespect to Shawn and Bret.
Shawn and Bret Iron Man match.
No disrespect.
That's a lot of moments in one moment.
Yes.
But Scott Hall, I mean, that changed how professional wrestling was done.
Yeah.
This is Shawn coming in on the skyline, right? Like he's
San Antonio, all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, like that's the coolest part of this match, I think. And the one thing too is like it's a good match. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I think there's 3 Shawn WrestleMania matches that I would take over this. I would take the 2 Taker ones. I would take him versus Angle at 21. It's probably another one. Like Shawn's just so good. Bret Hart's just so good. Like this is a great match, but is this even the best Shawn and Bret match?
I mean, it's not even the biggest moment.
Right. I mean, we had the screw job as another number 2 seed. So I would say Hall invades Nitro. And the one thing that we didn't bring up too, like maybe the Madison Square Garden, what's it called? The thing where they have the curtain call. The Click has the curtain call. Maybe that's the true biggest moment out of this because that then sends Scott and Kevin to WCW.
Right.
But it tells you how big those people were, and maybe people like me who weren't around for that time. It shows you how big Scott and Kevin were because they have fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they were on WCW TV, that's what set the entire Monday Night War off, and it didn't start off beautifully because the WWE wasn't WWE, but then it turns into the Attitude Era, and it's just a complete snowball effect. So there's no way it's not Hall.
All right. That's going to do it. That is our Sweet 16.
Too sweet.
2 Sweet 16 now of the greatest moments in WWE.
Got the top two
in wrestling history. Excuse me.
Top 2 seeds in each bracket still alive.
Still alive out there, man. And we'll be calling on you guys out there to cast your votes to see who is going to win this thing as we continue it on. But in the meantime, between time, we're going to get out of here. But we are going to WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the way. It is official. April 19th and 20th. We will be in Vegas and at WrestleMania at Allegiant Stadium. We will be hanging out. We will be doing our shows from Circa, from the Stadium Swim. That should be a great time, man. Cannot wait to get out there. I cannot wait for you, sir. I am very happy for you. I really am. I'm very happy for you going to your first. Any advice for him, Sean, going to his very first Mania?
I don't know, especially because it's 2 nights. Like, stay hydrated. I know when I went to Vegas, I walked like 40,000 steps one day. Yeah. So,
well,
good luck.
It's weird because I hadn't been to Vegas since 2006, but we were there last summer covering the NHL draft, and now I'm going to be back again in less than a year. So I think being there just a few months ago is going to help because Vegas has changed since I went last time.
It's a little different.
But I want it's going to be an adrenaline weekend.
It's going to be fun.
I am going to be a little uncomfortable with you having your phone on me half the night.
You won't even notice it, bro. You're going to be so focused.
But it's going to be a lot of fun. These next 2 weeks are going to drag.
Yeah, this is going to be fun, man. And can't wait to see y'all out there and hang out with y'all. Again, make sure you hit that link in the YouTube description, man. If you want to be a part of this through Circa, come hang out with us and enjoy it. Check out the packages that they have and stay at their lovely, wonderful resort and check out that Stadium Swim. It's amazing. On behalf of our producer, Sean Anderson, special advocate, Greg Boysen, I am Big Dave, y'all. We'll catch y'all next time. CHGO Wrestling. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.